Hey guys, welcome back to No Fixed Course. Today we're going to be running through various different priming methods, such as brush priming, airbrush priming, and spray can priming. First up, brush priming on these really nice, very old HeroQuest goblins, using Vallejo Surface Primer, which is pretty nice. Scraggy old brush. Main points to remember here are don't thin it, but don't load your brush with loads on it. We just need one coat because we're just preparing the surface. This isn't a base coat, this is just a prime. And try not to go over areas that you've primed previously too much, because you'll move part dry paint around and you'll create a rough texture on the miniature. Make sure you get into all the nooks and crannies. There we go, one coat. Doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's not paint. So airbrush priming. This is an old Iwata Neo, and we're using the surface primer again. Load up a little bit of water before you do. Pop the primer into the airbrush. It just makes things a little bit easier. If you put paint in first, it can go all gloopy and you're getting thick paint straight through the airbrush. And just give it a quick blast. Make sure you're effectively dusting all of the surfaces. So you don't need a thick coat, you don't need multiple coats, you just need one from all angles. And obviously make sure you hit the undersides as well, because that's easy to miss. The trick with Vallejo is that you need to leave it for about 24 hours afterwards, so the primer has time to cure, because it's got polyurethane in there, so it'll self-level. And lastly, we're working on the spray can primer. Now please do this either outside, or if you have masks and an extractor fan at your workstation, then by all means do it inside. But you want to be, again, dusting the model, and your primer pass you should start pressing the button before you get to the model. So you're just literally giving it a quick blast from left to right, or right to left, depending on what hand you're using. Again, hit all the sides, but doesn't need to be thick. Just need to make sure there's a little bit of paint over every part of the model. That's it. That's all it needs, is a couple of quick blasts, and that's it, primed. And just to show you how it works, this is charcoal grey through the airbrush as effectively a base coat. So this isn't the prime, this is the base coat, and they will all cover equally as well. So we're starting off with the spray can one, and this is where you want to have either multiple coats or not thick, but a decent coating over everything. This is your base coat. This is where you'll be layering over all the paint. So you can do this in black, you can do this in white, whatever you want, but at least the model underneath that has primer, so everything will stick well. So this is the airbrush one now, and again, straight over the top, and it would look identical for all intents and purposes to the spray can one, as will the brush coat one, which will be afterwards. Pros and cons: brush priming, useful for small parts, very low barrier to entry for basically the cost of the primer and a brush. Spray can, ease of use, because you're literally just going to stand outside and spray it. And again, it's very low barrier to entry, good for big things. If you're not confident with it, you can put too much on. So for small items like heads and Space Marine helmets and things like that you might want to paint separately, it's easy to overkill it with the spray can. Airbrush, good for everything, but barrier to entry a lot higher. So you're talking sort of £100 for a compressor and airbrush. But that being said, it is quite useful to have an airbrush. But there we go. So thank you ever so much for watching. Hope you made it all the way to the end, even though it's quite a short video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the usual things. And thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.